All right, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at a book that's, well, it's kind of taken the self-help world by storm, right? The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma.
Yeah, it's definitely everywhere these days.
And it's an interesting one because it's not your typical straightforward, advice book.
Right. It's got that fictional element to it. It's not just a list of do this, do that.
Exactly, it's a story. So we get these characters, the spellbinder, this homeless man, an entrepreneur, and an artist, and their lives kind of intersect.
Yeah, and the whole idea, the thing that kind of kicks off their whole journey is this idea of waking up at 5 a.m.
The 5 a.m. Club, right? So let's dive into this. Like right at the start, we've got the spellbinder, right? He's this huge motivational speaker, like a legend in the field.
And it seems like, maybe towards the end of his career, but still, he's got this incredible presence. Thousands of people hanging on his every word.
Right. He's captivating, and his whole message is about, pushing people to become legendary, to step up, not play small.
And he keeps hammering this point that it's not enough to have ideas, you got to apply them.
Oh, absolutely. And he's pretty critical of, like, the culture today, saying it breeds people who are, what does he say, soft, weak, and delicate, people who give up easily.
Yeah, it's almost like he's setting the stage for the entrepreneur we meet later who's struggling with, the pressures of success, right?
Totally. But then, boom, right in the middle of this powerful speech, he collapses on stage.
Right out of the blue, leaves everyone stunned.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we're introduced to the entrepreneur who's, like, glued to her phone, overwhelmed, clearly addicted to technology.
It highlights a trap so many of us fall into these days, doesn't it? We chase success, but at what cost?
Right. She's got the success, but it seems like she's lost herself along the way. And then we get this mysterious homeless man who comes up to her.
Yeah, and he's the one who advises her to, raise her standards as a leader, but also to see pressure as a privilege.
As a way to grow, yeah.
Yeah.
But, speaking of this homeless man, he's kind of a walking contradiction.
Oh, totally. Staying in a fancy hotel, wearing a high-end watch, but calls himself homeless. It's like, what's going on?
Right. And he's, like, very deliberate about the things he surrounds himself with, like the highest quality everything.
Business, relationships, even just material possessions, but not in a flashy way.
Right. It's more about excellence. Elevate yourself, contribute to the world.
And he even says the ultimate goal of business should be to serve humanity. Money, power, all that. It's secondary.
Yeah, that's a big idea, right? Flipping the script on what we typically think of as success.
Definitely. And this resonates with the artist character, too, who's incredibly talented, but seems to be holding himself back.
Yeah, the artist, he's got this recurring dream about being a giant and a pirate, which the homeless man interprets as him wanting to tap into his potential.
Right, he's afraid to really embrace his greatness.
And then there's that analogy about deceiving lemons, remember?
Oh, yeah, going deeper, being meticulous, paying attention to the details. Mastery is in the details.
And then, of course, the big reveal. The homeless man is actually a billionaire, Mr. Riley.
It's like, whoa, all of a sudden, everything he said, it clicks. It makes sense.
Right, he's been living this 5 a.m. club philosophy all along. And then he whisks them off to Mauritius, promising to share his secrets.
It's a classic setup, right? The adventure, the mentorship, the promise of self-discovery.
It's captivating, that's for sure. But even before Mauritius, he starts dropping these little nuggets of wisdom, like the 3-step success formula.
Awareness, choices, results. It's all about taking ownership, isn't it?
Yeah, and he uses this Formula One racing analogy, which, I'm not a huge racing fan, but I get it.
It's about mastery, precision, constantly striving to be better.
And this word granularity, right? The importance of depth over superficiality.
Just going against the grain, this world of quick fixes and instant gratification.
Absolutely. And then there's this whole concept of capitalization, the stories we tell ourselves.
The self-fulfilling prophecy. Believe you can, and you're more likely to. But if you doubt yourself...
You limit yourself.
Right.
And I love how he says we're all built to do astonishing things.
That word, astonishing, it's powerful, like leaving someone thunderstruck.
Yeah, that's the potential he sees in everyone.
It's inspiring, isn't it? We all have this capacity for greatness.
We do. And that's where the discipline of the 5 a.m. Club comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's about creating this structure, the mindset, the habits.
It's about taking control.
Exactly. Instead of letting our days control us.
And he warns against those digital distractions,
Oh, yeah. Emails, social media, all of it.
It's like we're constantly reacting instead of creating.
Totally. And the heart of his method is the 20-20-20 formula.
Move, reflect, grow. 1 hour each morning. It sounds so simple.
It does. and powerful. But before we get too deep into that, I think we have to talk about sleep, right?
Oh, absolutely. You can't have the 5 a.m. club without the sleep. And that's where that whole lesson in the Roman catacombs comes in.
Right, such a dramatic setting for a lesson on sleep. What do you think that's all about?
Well, I think the catacombs, with their stillness and
Like
darkness.
a metaphor, right?
Yeah, for that quiet, that darkness we need for good sleep, a retreat from the world.
And guess who shows up in the catacombs? The Spellbinder.
Talk about a comeback. It's like he's back to deliver another message.
He is, and he's talking about balance. Elite performance, but with rest.
The twin cycles of elite performance, he calls it. Can't have one without the other.
Pushing yourself to the limit all the time, it's not sustainable.
Exactly. You burn out, you need that recovery, that rejuvenation.
Wow, okay, we've covered a lot here. The characters, the 5 a.m. philosophy, the mindset, the sleep.
And we haven't even gotten to the 20-20-20 formula in detail yet.
I know, right? There's so much more to unpack, so much more to discover about the 5 a.m. club.
We're just scratching the surface. It's funny, like, this whole idea that waking up early can, lead to this whole philosophy of, self-mastery, growth.
Yeah, it's more than just getting up early. It's like a whole mindset shift.
Exactly. It's about designing a life you love.
And speaking of mindset, there was that 5-3-1 creed of the willpower warrior. We kind of touched on it before.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I think it's worth digging into a bit more.
It's all about willpower, right? How to understand it, how to build it.
Mr. Riley lays out these 5 scientific truths about willpower and then 3 core values and this whole overarching theory.
Right. It's like a framework, a way to think about willpower.
And one thing that really stuck with me was this idea that, if you boost your self-control in one area of your life,
It helps with everything else.
it's like a ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So mastering waking up early, that discipline, it spills over into other areas.
Like resisting that extra donut or, staying focused on a tough project.
Exactly. Okay, so let's get to the 20-20-20 formula, the heart of it all.
Right. The victory hour, he calls it.
And he unveils it on the Spanish steps in Rome. I mean, talk about a setting.
Beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's like symbolic.
It is. Those steps, gradually going higher. It's like a step-by-step journey to something bigger.
And that's what the formula is about, right? Small steps, consistency.
To get extraordinary results. So we've got the 3 20-minute pockets. Move, reflect, and grow. Simple, but
Profound.
yeah.
Each one addressing a different part of, our well-being.
Right. So first, the move pocket, getting that body moving. Exercise, boosting energy, focus, all that.
And I love how he suggests, setting your alarm 30 minutes early, tricking yourself,
It's like outsmarting your sleepy self.
and
Aaron.
sleeping in your workout clothes. No excuses.
Eliminate those barriers. It's all about making it easy to just start.
Exactly. And then reflect, the second pocket. That's where we get into introspection, mindfulness.
Yeah, the inner work,
Yeah,
journaling, meditation.
just being still. In this crazy world, we rarely do that.
No, we don't. And it's so important, that quiet time for self-awareness, peace.
And remember those beautiful journals he gave them, Italian artisan made.
The details matter, right? It's all part of that commitment to growth.
And you can see, the entrepreneur and the artist, they're starting to get it,
Becoming more aware of their thoughts, their feelings.
which helps them make better choices. Then we have grow, the final pocket.
Investing in yourself, learning new skills.
Reading, podcasts, courses.
Anything that feeds your mind helps you evolve.
He talks about how successful people, they share this love of learning.
Right, they never stop. Always growing, expanding their horizons.
And that's how you stay relevant, in a world that's constantly changing.
Exactly. It's about having that growth mindset.
So the 20-20-20 formula, move, reflect, grow, is a powerful way to structure your morning. But
But the 5 a.m. club is bigger than just the morning, right?
exactly, it's a whole approach to life, performance and recovery. It's about finding that balance.
And that brings us back to that Roman catacombs lesson.
Right, prioritize rest, avoid burnout.
And the spellbinder showing up again, emphasizing that last hour of the evening.
Wind down routine. It's like bookending your day with intention.
Setting yourself up for success. Routines, rituals that support your well-being.
Okay, so we've got the formula, sleep, the twin cycles of performance. What else does Mr. Riley share on this journey?
Well, there's that scene where they get the heart sets, those beautifully crafted boxes with the 11 maxims.
Oh, yeah, those were amazing.
Symbolic, right. Each maxim, a charm, aligning your actions with your values. making a positive impact.
It's beautiful how he presents it, like treating your values with respect, reverence.
Exactly. And the maxims themselves, they capture the essence of the 5 a.m. Club.
And one that I really love is to create magic in the world, own the magic within yourself.
Powerful, right? Transformation begins within.
Yeah, you got to cultivate that inner magic, that spark.
And the 5 a.m. Club gives you the tools to do that. Self-reflection, growth.
Okay, so the heart sets, the 11 maxims, their journey continues, right? More adventures, more insights.
Absolutely. They go to some incredible places, each one teaching them something new.
The Taj Mahal, the Spanish Steps.
Mm-hmm.
Each location adds another layer of meaning to the story.
And the Taj Mahal, such a majestic structure. What do you think Sharma's trying to say by using that as a metaphor?
It's about those small actions, consistent over time.
Building something extraordinary, brick by brick. And then Mr. Riley introduces the 90901 rule and the 60-10 method.
Right. Two more tools for productivity. So the 90901 rule, that's intense.
It is. 90 minutes, first thing in the morning, for 90 days straight, working on your most important task.
Laser focus. That could lead to some serious breakthroughs.
No distractions. And then the 60-10 method, that's about sustainability.
Yeah, working with your energy, taking breaks, avoiding that afternoon slump.
60 minutes of work, 10 minutes of recovery. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you.
So they're learning, they're implementing, they're feeling the power of the 5 a.m. Club.
Right, they're on this journey of transformation. But then, just when you think everything's falling into place,
The artist gets kidnapped.
it's like, whoa, curveball. Life throws you a curveball, even when you're striving for balance.
And it really tests their strength, their resilience, everything they've been building.
But the entrepreneur, she steps up. It's amazing. She confronts the kidnapper, saves the artist's life.
She embodies the heroic human circle, those qualities of courage, compassion, understanding.
It's a powerful moment. Like the 5 a.m. Club, it's not just about personal success.
It's about character, resilience, facing any challenge that comes your way.
And Mr. Riley, he uses this whole experience as another teaching moment.
He talks about servant leadership, focusing on uplifting others.
Right. True leadership, it's not about power. It's about service, compassion, making a positive impact.
But then he takes him to Robin Island, Nelson Mandela's prison.
Talk about a symbolic location.
Wow.
What do you think Sharma's trying to convey with that?
I think it's about hope, resilience. Even in the face of incredible suffering, the human spirit.
And then we learned that Mandela himself, he was a 5 a.m. clubber.
Waking up before dawn to exercise. Prepare for the day.
It's like, wow, even someone like Mandela recognized the power of that. Routine, discipline, commitment.
Okay, so the kidnapping, the servant leader, Robin Island.
Mm.
What about the spellbinder? Does he show up again?
He does. He does. It's actually a really moving scene.
Where is he this time?
In Mandela's former prison cell.
No way.
Yeah, and he gives this impassioned speech about the heroic human circle, courage, compassion, all of that.
It's like full circle, right? From
Oh.
collapsing on stage to standing in Mandela's cell.
He's embodying those qualities he talked about. And as the book ends, Mr. Riley reveals there's a lost chapter.
A lost chapter with even more insights.
Yeah, like the final piece of the puzzle.
Wow, what a way to end the book.
It's like saying the journey never really ends.
So much to think about. So much to unpack.
We've covered a lot, the characters, the concepts, the transformation.
But what does it all mean for our listeners?
Right. How can they apply this to their own lives? That's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive.
We'll get into that lost chapter, distill the key takeaways.
And talk about how you, our listeners, can use these strategies to unlock your own potential.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club. We've explored so much already. The spellbinder, the entrepreneur, the artist, their transformations, those incredible locations.
And of course, the 5 a.m. method itself. But now we get to that mysterious lost chapter.
Yeah, Mr. Riley drops that bombshell right at the end. What's in this lost chapter? Some big secret.
Well, it's not so much like brand new ideas. It's
Wow.
more like taking everything we've already learned, those core principles.
Like a masterclass.
Yeah, exactly. Taking it to a deeper level, refining those practices.
Okay, so like, for example, the heroic human circle. We talked about that before.
Yeah, cultivating those qualities of a true hero, right? Courage, compassion, all of that.
And the lost chapter kind of dives deeper into that, right?
It does. Emphasizing that connection we all have, and the power of service.
Service being the key to fulfillment.
It's like our lives aren't just about us, it's about making a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, that resonates. It's not just about personal transformation. It's about being a force for good. And that ties into leadership, right?
Absolutely. It's not about titles or positions. It's about embodying those heroic qualities every single day,
Leading by example, inspiring others.
creating a ripple effect, making a difference. We all have that potential, regardless of who we are or what we do.
That's powerful stuff. And I think it ties into this idea that, growth, self-discovery, it never really ends,
Oh, absolutely. It's a journey. The lost chapter really drives that home.
right? It's not a destination.
Exactly. It's about evolving, expanding. And the 5 a.m. Club, it gives you that framework, a structure for that journey.
Okay, so the lost chapter deepens our understanding of those key concepts, but let's get practical.
Right. How can our listeners take this and actually apply it to their own lives?
That's the million-dollar question.
Well, the 5 a.m. Club is flexible, right? You
Yeah.
can personalize it. Start with the 20-20-20 formula. What's most important to you in those 20-minute pockets?
Right, like with Move, it doesn't have to be a crazy workout.
Exactly. It could be a walk, yoga, dancing, whatever gets you energized. Find what you enjoy.
And reflect. Well, that's all about finding those mindfulness practices that work for you.
Journaling, meditating, just being still. The key is to create that space for introspection.
And then grow. Well, there are so many possibilities there.
Right. Reading, podcasts, courses, projects, anything that feeds your mind aligns with your goals.
It's about investing in yourself, expanding your knowledge. So many options.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's progress over perfection, right?
Absolutely. Start small, experiment, build that 5 a.m. routine gradually.
And don't be afraid to adjust it. Life changes. Your routine can change too.
It's a tool, right? Not a set of rigid rules. Use it to empower yourself, to create a life you love. Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the big takeaways? What do we want our listeners to remember?
We all have that potential for greatness. That's the key. The 5 a.m. Club, it's a path to unlock that.
Yeah. And it starts with those mornings, owning your mornings, setting up your day,
Creating that routine, making those choices that lead to fulfillment.
and remembering those heroic qualities. Compassion, service, courage.
Yeah.
They're within each of us.
The journey is ongoing. Always more to learn, more to explore.
And more importantly, believe in yourself. Trust the process. Don't give up on your dreams.
Exactly. We hope you've enjoyed our deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club. It's a powerful book full of insights.
Definitely. Explore it, experiment, see what owning your morning can do for you.
The possibility is there, the potential is within you. It's time to rise and shine.